Can't tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Bradley and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradley and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Ziffy, I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing, Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SP, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradley and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes, Brad Emery morning. Marques Justin Emery.
Man, what's going on? Yo, actually, today in history was a crazy day, to be honest with you. A lot has actually happened, both in the sports world and in the non-sports world. So we'll start in the sports world, as we usually do. Babe Ruth retired, 1935.
The Bambino.
Yes, sir. The Sultan of SWAT.
Yes.
All the other names they had for him in the Sandlot that I can't think of right now.
Yes.
So that was that's a big one. Also, if you remember, just a few short years ago, 2015, with the FIFA scandal, where the president stepped down of FIFA and all that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, 2015 that happened.
Wow. Okay.
Not that long ago.
No. Only forever ago, though.
Yeah, it does. I mean, everybody knows my policy. Like, to me, anything after 90 days might as well have been 90 years ago. Like, yeah. I have that 90-day that 90-day threshold.
Yeah.
1970 race car driver and designer Bruce McLaren dies.
Wow.
During a test drive for one of his vehicles.
Not to unpack today.
Not to unpack. Also, English football clubs are banned from Europe. 1985.
Okay.
So that's just what happened in the sports world.
Wow.
In the non-sports world, Timothy McVeigh is convicted of the Oklahoma City bombing.
Yeah. David Koresh's disciple, Timothy McVeigh.
Yeah. The Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, was crowned 1953.
Whoa. That was like 3 years before my mom was born.
I mean, she's what's she,
98?
How old is the Queen? Like 97, 98? Something like that.
She's on the south side to 100.
Yeah. At 1865, the Civil War ends.
Yes.
And I'm sure, though, as a teacher, you probably already know a lot of these things about the historical facts.
Yes.
1886, Grover Cleveland gets married in the White House.
Ooh, okay.
And here's a crazy one. So everybody, I mean, I shouldn't say everybody. A lot of people know. I'm always watching the documentaries on Netflix and whatnot. Not the movies. I don't care about the movies. You know that. Watch other stuff.
Okay.
So, 1985. Imagine being a detective and having to solve this case. Okay. A bunch of serial killings are happening in San Francisco, but it's two people committing them. So imagine trying to track down a serial killer when it's two different people committing the crimes. They're working together.
Have you gotten into the whole David Berkowitz killing him back in the late 70s in New York?
Don't even know what that is. But I know I'll be doing after this show.
Son of Sam.
What's that?
Son of Sam.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's David Berkowitz, Son of Sam. Yeah. Well, there's a new documentary out that I'm kind of like almost afraid to watch.
Is that the Netflix one you're talking about?
Yes. And basically what it's saying is that David Berkowitz was part of a satanic cult, and they knew he was we knew he was involved, but now it's being explored that he was part of this, and the Son of Sam wasn't just David Berkowitz. It was like a bunch of people. And they somehow link maybe Charles Manson into it also. I'm kind of afraid to watch it because it looks terrifying. So I thought the whole trailer. I was like, I don't know if I want to bring this to my home. I might have to.
Wow. We have to get Twitty on it for us.
Yeah. But so I was gonna actually wait to bring this up, but since we're going to the crime direction real quick, so the Notorious B.I.G. murder may have been solved, and
is this breaking news?
This is relatively new.
Okay,
came out in the past couple days. Now what I'm going to read to you, I'm going to read this to you, but after I do, I think you're going to be like, well, this makes a lot of sense, especially when I give it a little more context. Also,
okay.
Report surfaced recently. This is from Vlad TV, by the way. A report surfaced recently alleging that the murder of the Notorious B.I.G. was a cover-up. Along with that, the ex-FBI agent who worked for the case noted who was responsible for the death of the late rapper. According to retired FBI agent Phil Carson, Suge Knight financed the hit that went down on Biggie and noted it was carried out by a man named Amir Muhammad with the assistance of corrupt LAPD officers. Carson also said, all the evidence points to Amir Muhammad. He's the one who pulled the trigger. There were plenty of others who helped orchestrate it and followed him to pull the trigger. Carson spoke up on the alleged cover-up, saying, it was the biggest miscarriage of justice in my 20 years of the FBI. I had evidence that LAPD officers were involved. I was shut down by the LAPD and city attorneys inside Los Angeles. The former agent revealed that Diddy was the intended target for the hit, not Biggie. Carson said that this information had Diddy pretty freaked out, as of course I'd be pretty freaked out too.
Understandable.
After learning that he was the focus. The Wallace family civil case against the LAPD reportedly contains all the evidence related to the murder, but was sealed by a federal judge. The criminal investigation for Biggie's murder remains open, though. Now, give a little context to this. First of all, this guy's retired, which gives you a lot of credence to his story. These guys, as we know, federal agents are not allowed to talk about ongoing cases when they're part of the Bureau. It's a fireable offense. Now he's got his pension. He's good. Now, let's go back to 1997 when this murder happened. LAPD was under pressure big time. First of all, it's going back to the 60s, the corruption of the California police in California, period. Then you fast forward to 91, you have Rodney King. Then 94, they have OJ dead to rights because the LAPD was so corrupt and botched that whole investigation, they couldn't convict him. You had the Menendez trial that was also considered kind of be a botch. Is actually why the Menendez, they actually almost got off because of their standing, but they didn't based on the fact that the LAPD was like, no, OJ got away, we can't let this one get away too. So you had all of these things all happening pretty much around the same time period. And now you would have Biggie being murdered by a guy who was a corrupt police officer. So I could totally see how this was a cover up and why this happened and why they did what they did, because that department took a lot of hits in the 90s. And of course, you go to 97 when this happens, you have the biggest rapper in the game gets killed in Wilshire Boulevard, like right in dead center in LA after a party with police presence all around. This is always kind of always been my theory with him, that Suge Knight was involved, because Suge thought Biggie had something to do with Tupac, which he didn't, but he thought he was involved in that. So I always thought that wouldn't surprise me. Didn't surprise me that Diddy was the intended hit either, because the Diddy Suge energy, that's well documented. You look that up, and it didn't surprise me that LAPD were involved. Nothing about this story surprised me, but it's just good to finally hear someone say it.
It's a lot to digest right there.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point in time, like any story that is plausible, I'll believe.
Yeah.
I mean, because whenever you have something like this that's been unsolved, when so much time has passes, it opens up, like every year that passes opens up more possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because how many people that were, I mean, when did you say this was? 97?
97, yep.
So 24 years. What was it?
March 9th, 1997.
So yeah, it's been 24 years.
Yep.
How many people involved in it has passed away and took the secrets to the grave with them in those 24 years?
Right.
So It's very plausible. I very much would believe it.
It's well documented that Suge Knight had guys from the LAPD on his payroll.
Oh yeah,
that's documented also. So, and there were. I mean, if you go even deeper in it, there were like alleged gang members involved in the LAPD, like people like Bloods in the LAPD, allegedly. So this all kind of and Suge was a Blood, allegedly. So this all kind of ties together. It all makes sense. But
what's Suge doing these days?
He's in prison.
Oh,
yeah, he'll be there for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he. It was kind of an accident, but he basically ran over a man.
He what?
Ran over a man with his car. You can actually see the clip online.
I don't need to see that.
He thought the guy was coming to kill him, and he literally just ran a bunch of dudes over with his car.
Were they trying to kill him?
It looked. I mean, it didn't look like they were coming up for a handshake. And I mean, I don't know, but like with all of his issues, like the police were like, "No, we don't want to. No, you're going to prison."
Would you run him over?
Would I run over a man that's coming to kill me?
Yes. Well, like if you were in his situation, do you understand why he ran them over?
Yeah, if I think my life's in danger, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I don't like.
He was playing Grand Theft Auto just with himself.
Yeah, just with a real life person. But so shifting gears. All right, so let's get into Monday night. It's so interesting. It's so interesting about Monday with me. Watching that game, Embiid goes down the first quarter. It looks like he's going to be okay long term, which is good. He probably won't play tonight, but long term, it looks like
he's play tonight.
Which is good. So let's get that out of the way because I don't want to spend too much time on that. I was going through the course of the game. To me, I was like, okay, listen, knowing Embiid goes down, there's that playoff adversity again we talked about, how you got to be prepared for every scenario. Couple things I liked is I like the fact that we got guys that we're going to need in later rounds to perform. I thought Shake played okay. I thought Furkan Korkmaz played really well.
Yeah, I'm out on Shake in that game though.
He played better. He showed signs that I am a part of this series. And the two that played really well though were Korkmaz and Maxey. They played really well. Korkmaz missed the three at the end of the game, but that happens. And but he definitely played well. Maxey was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I still understand if you're Doc Rivers why you took him out with 5 minutes ago. He was at that point he was cooking.
So I have a theory on this of why. So if you look right before they took him out, when they were on defense, they had a defensive rotation, and Maxey missed his switch, leading to a wide open three from the Wizards.
Okay. And
so I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that a young player, he's excited, he's killing it on offense, he's probably a little too juiced up, missed the defensive switch, and Doc didn't trust him.
1,000%. But that's for me. If I'm the coach of the Sixers, I take him aside at that point.
Yeah.
Say, yo, kid, listen, man, you missed the assignment down there. Make sure you're paying attention to what's going on down there, and throw him right back in there because he was the jolt that you needed, and he was the lead figure of that comeback. I mean, he really was. His energy was the lead figure of that comeback. So I don't think.
I wish that his high school teammate Kyle Kuzma would have played a little bit better.
Oh my gosh, we'll get to them. We'll go out west and talk about them.
But the thing is Tyrese. He needs to cut into Shake's minutes. But he needs to.
I think you're already seeing that.
You are, but I think
I think going forward, like if he plays well tonight, there's a good chance that Shake's be knocked out of the rotation. There's a chance. Because we're getting to the point with Tyrese Maxey where it's almost unreasonable not to play him anymore. Like you're getting to that point now where it's like, okay, because for me, I always was like with him, we're gonna bubble wrap him this season.
Now, is he listed as a 1 or a 2?
I think he's a combo. Like I think he's gonna be one of those guys where he kind of
it's possible you could play him and Ben together.
Yes, you may because he can shoot a little bit. Like his three isn't elite, but he can knock down an open shot. He's better at penetrating and that kind of thing. So I'm
trying to picture it right now long term. Hypothetically, could Maxey and Matisse replace Danny Green and Seth Curry next year in the starting rotation? And would that be
Maxey's going to have to become a more of a knockdown jump shooter for that to happen?
And would those five pieces, and by five pieces I mean Embiid, Simmons, Harris, Maxey, and Thibault, would those guys work together?
They listen. That's what we're kind of getting off topic, but whatever. Let's go there. I am excited about the future of this team. Like the things that like the Sixers aren't just set up for now; they're set up for the future also. With guys like Maxey, Joe, B-Ball Paul, like guys are coming down the pipeline that can play, and you see the future, and you see it. Now for Maxey to crack the starting lineup and replace Seth Curry, he's going to have to come more of a knockdown jump shooter. Right now, his jump shot is okay. He can hit it. He can hit open three, but it's not elite. I need him to be like, if he's going to crack that starting lineup to play with Simmons, I need you to be shooting south of 40% from the three. I need you to be in the 40% range from three. And the same thing with Matisse. Matisse, honestly, this offseason, I want him locked in the gym, committing to shooting about 750 to 1,000 threes a day. Like, that's all I want you doing, just shooting 3-pointers.
A lot of threes.
Yeah, 750 to 1,000. Like, just do, 100, do sets of 100. Just throughout the day. That's all I want you doing. Just shooting 3-pointers all day, all over the place. Really corner threes, but I want you shooting from everywhere. Just shooting threes all over the place. Because that's the one thing that he needs to become Bruce Bowen. That's what he's missing. He needs that three. But circling back. So I'm okay. Like, I wasn't really that upset. We get to the 2:30 mark and we start the hack-a-bin.
I was pissed. Yeah, you might not have been that upset. Marcus,
wait, where are you angry at? Are you angry at the 5-minute point? You're angry at the 2-minute point. Where are you angry?
I'm angry at the start of the fourth quarter when they're down 14.
Okay. I
was pissed the whole fourth quarter.
So with me, it's like I look at the Wizards, and it's just not something I'm really concerned about. Everything I'm looking at in this series is all about the conference championship, the conference final, maybe a little semifinal, but mostly conference final. Everything that I'm talking about now, everything we're talking about now, and for me, it's about that. It's not about Monday, because regardless of Embiid plays tonight or not, they're going to win by 20. The Wizards are not a good basketball team. Daniel Bertaz is out too, so they're missing him. Westbrook is hobbled. They're going to beat this team by 20 with a packed Wells Fargo Center. There's no way in the world this game is close. So it's not about this. So we get to hack-a-bin, and listen, it is what it is. I know Ben Simmons can't shoot free throws, so my expectations are already low when this happens. And I'm looking at his energy. He looks like a guy got sent to detention in high school. He's on his way. That's how he's walking down to the free throw line. He already knows it's not going to go well. And it didn't go well. He shot 50% in the hack-a-bin scenario. That's not good. So I had expectations like, okay, this isn't going to go well. Let's get some stops. They didn't get the stops on the defensive side of the ball. Then Furkan missed the three. Easy run-out dunk. Game pretty much over at that point. Hachimura hits a three that's really a backbreaker, but the game's pretty much over at that point once Furkan misses that three. Here's where I got upset. I got upset Doc Rivers' press conference. That's where I got upset. Listen, Doc Rivers has played in the NBA for a very long time. Atlanta Hawks, New York Knicks, all that. Head coach in the NBA.
Coach of the year, NBA champion.
All that. He knows the game. But Doc, listen, man. Where you make me upset and where people are really upset is when you are treating us like we don't know the game also. We're not on your credentials, but we know the game. And you to look into this camera in a straight face and try to tell me that I'm the problem because I think Ben Simmons is be better free throw shooter is absolutely absurd. His behavior, like, is Ben your boo? Like, is that your boo? Like, he was defending him like that was his boo. Like, it was boo love defense. And, like, listen, I get it. You want to stick up for your players, all of that energy. Yes, stick up for your players, ride for your guys. Don't embarrass your guys in public. But don't sit here and act like, because the thing is that really makes me upset is that what he's talking about people who don't appreciate Ben Simmons, that is the minority. That's not the majority. The minority of people in the city don't appreciate Ben Simmons. The majority of us do. We're just asking for a little bit more. I've used this analogy before, but it's like your children. Like, I love my kids to death. I love them. I love all their great qualities. But my job as their parent is to work on those weaknesses and not just uplift the strengths. The weaknesses are, because the weaknesses we can make better. We can make these things better. Like, and I see you guys can get better. Ben Simmons, we see, like Jimmy Lynam said it perfectly when they went to him after the press conference. He said, listen, we see how good Ben is. We just know Ben Simmons himself can be a better version of Ben Simmons. And that's all really we're asking for at the end of the day. And, like, I got to read you some of these quotes from Doc. I just want to refresh kind of what he was saying. This is the first quote. He says, "You guys keep this Ben Simmons narrative alive, which I think is freaking insane. Ben is not a 40-point guy. That's not what he does. He does so many other things for your team, and I just don't understand why that's not sinking in for our city." Doc, we don't want Ben Simmons to average 40 points. We understand what he does. We understand he provides offense for other people. However, what did I say about a week and a half ago? We're not looking at you. We're looking past you. If this gets to round 2 next series and we go to conference finals against the Nets or the Bucks in the conference final, you're going to have teams that can score a lot better than the Wizards can score. And if they go hack-a-ben on you with 230, 235 to go, and he's hitting 50%, if that, and honestly, let's be honest, we were lucky to get him to hit 50%. It's not a guarantee he's going to make 1 out of 2 every time. And
so, then take a breather.
My head about to explode. Guys,
take a breather. Take a breather. Let me handle this.
Can I read you one more quote?
Yeah, go ahead.
Quote, I'll let you go.
Oh, because I want to comment on what you just said. Like that.
Yeah, but real quick, this is Doc talking about Ben's free throw shooting. Analytically, if you split all those free throws, you'll take a point per possession. He did that. I had no issues with it. What in God's name, what in blue hell are you talking about? You're a point guard. We don't pay you to make 1 out of 2 free throws. You're paid to make 2 in clutch, not 1 out of 2. Am I wrong? Have I gone nuts here, or is 50% still a failing grade?
So, I'm a numbers guy. I mean, we play that game where I give you the blind statistics.
Yeah.
I'm a numbers guy.
Right.
And, like we said, we don't Doc Rivers forgets on a daily basis more basketball than I'll ever know.
Correct.
But does he realize that if a team averaged only 1 point per possession, they would have the worst rated efficient offense in the history of the NBA?
Right.
So, I mean, clearly, he's flustered or something's happened. You know what I mean? Like something's.
But I don't like. It's really like if someone brings up the free throw shooting, it's literally this. Like, listen, Ben Simmons, we appreciate and love all the things that he does. There's an area he needs to improve. We all see that. We all recognize that. We work with Ben every day to get that done, and we move on. And no one has anything to say. But when you make it seem like we're the problem because we want Ben to make free throws and like would I have taken him out of the game? No, I think that is ridiculous. You had to ask the question. I forget who was asked the question in the press conference. You had to ask the question.
Let me ask you this: Is it as crazy as you think?
You can't. I wouldn't do it. I think you lose a guy doing that.
But do you know why? There's one reason why I would have considered it.
Okay.
Only strictly one reason. He already had 5 fouls. He can't do anything on defense for you. His calling card, he can't help you with because he will get called and he will be pulled out of the game anyway. So if he can't help you on offense and he can't help you on defense because of the fouls, then that's what he has 4 fouls. I'm in the same camp as you. He has 3 fouls. As long as he doesn't, he has 5 fouls. And they're clearly keying on him to go after him. And what I mean by them, I mean Beal, Westbrook. They're going after them.
But I worry about the psyche of a guy, of you saying, listen, you're not out of the game because you have 5 guys. I don't trust you. Like, that's basically what you're saying. I don't trust you to make free throws. And rightfully so, because I knew what the result was going to be when he went to the line. And we all did.
Yeah, yeah. If Brett Brown did it, I'd agree with you. Doc Rivers has a little bit more cachet than Brett Brown does. So I'm not saying I definitely would have sat him because I don't know.
You consider it.
Yeah, because of the 5 fouls. Like I said, if he has 4, not even on my mind. It's the fact that he already had 5 fouls.
Like, you're talking about a guy that after the All-Star break shot 59% from the line, and it's gotten progressively worse. He's now shooting.
Let me ask you this, okay?
25% from the line from the series. It took him till game 3 to make a foul shot. And that's going off of game 3 to make a foul shot. It wasn't the first time he went to the line. And just think about this. If Ben Simmons could be a 75 to 80% free throw shooter, it would increase his scoring average by at least 4 points a game. So now we're up to 18 a game, where we want to be.
Let me ask you this, okay? Okay. You've coached basketball before.
Yes.
Okay. You've played basketball before.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the charity stripe for a reason.
Right. It's something
like I shouldn't say I don't care because I do care, but I don't care if you don't shoot threes. I mean, like I do, but I don't care if you don't shoot threes. Do I want you taking 5 shots in a playoff game without Embiid? No. But at the same time, I almost don't care about that either. If you hit your foul shots, you hit your foul. Now, did Ben Simmons' foul shooting lose that game? No. The game was not lost because of that. The game was lost because Tobias did not play well. The game was lost because
bad shot selection.
Yeah, Embiid got hurt. Yeah. The game was lost because now I don't like blaming the referees, but it was a poorly officiated game.
It was.
Okay. There was a culmination of things. But to have your point guard miss 6 foul shots in the last 2-3 minutes of the game?
2:30, about 2:30. Yeah, and again, this is not about the Wizards. Anyone with a reasonable brain knows they're going to win this series. It's not about them.
Lost my sweet bet, though. Yeah, I did. Lost my sweet bet.
I have championship aspirations for this team. Championship aspirations.
As we all should.
And to win a championship, you're going to have to beat some really good teams to do that. And I'm looking around at what I see. I'm looking at the Nets. I'm looking at the Bucks. I'm looking out west at what the Suns are doing. I'm looking at the Jazz. I'm looking at all these teams, and I'm saying to myself,
this is it.
What are you doing here? What are we doing here? Because I'm telling you right now, as a point guard, one of your jobs is to be he may be the worst foul shooting point guard of all time. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I can imagine a point guard that shoots worse than him. Because
real quick, let me throw this theory past you. I heard it today. I don't remember who said it, but the more I thought about it, the more it kind of makes a little bit of sense for what Doc's doing. Okay,
mm-hmm.
So go back to when Doc was a player.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of player was he? He was a point guard.
Traditional point guard.
He was a facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
High defense.
Mm-hmm.
Low scoring.
Mm-hmm.
What is Ben Simmons? A facilitator. High defense. Low scoring. I think Doc sympathizes with Ben. Now, I think Ben's let me rephrase that. I don't think. Ben's a better player now than Doc was.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a lot of parallels in their game, and I think Doc feels for him.
Though, but there shouldn't be. And you just hit the nail on the head. There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. Those two should not be comparable in the NBA record books or as players, period. Because Ben Simmons is more physically gifted than Doc Rivers. And the game has changed a lot from when Doc was in the NBA, a point guard did the thing. That's what the point guard's job was. Just to facilitate, get the ball around, get the ball moving, be a guy that doesn't turn the ball over too much, fundamentally sound guy. That's what the majority of point guards were in Doc Rivers' era. This is not this era. This is not what this era, the expectations era. And Ben Simmons can do a lot more things than Doc Rivers could do. So it's just, man, at the end of the day, it's frustrating because the guy is shooting 25% from the line from the series, and that's just not good enough. And for Doc Rivers to look in that camera and try to act like we're the problem when this is the problem is upsetting. I actually have a theory I want to run by you. Jalen Rose, actually, I had Jake Kobe on. I know. I had it on the other day, yesterday. And he actually made a good point of something I didn't think about that I want to run by you. That I thought was interesting. He said that when it comes to, since the fact that Ben Simmons in a game doesn't shoot 15 and beyond on a regular basis, he said that that's a problem in itself. However, because of the fact that they're not practicing that much anymore, and he's not used to shooting that distance anyway on a good day, his foul shooting has gotten worse because of those things. Because that's what happened in the playoffs. You don't practice in the playoffs. You don't really have practice or anything like that. So
it's more just staying fresh. Right. Those do shoot arounds. Shoot arounds become practice.
Right. So he's not getting
film
time to shoot. I thought was an interesting point.
Now, I don't know enough about the. I played basketball. I never coached it. I don't think I would be a very good basketball coach, but so I don't know enough as far as the impact that has. So it could have something. I don't know. All I know is that it's nothing to go out there and shoot. Get an assistant coach just to stand under the net and just shoot. Pass the boom, shoot.
But see here. I'm going to speak to coaching right now because here's the problem with him is that he has horrendous fundamentals at the foul line. Horrendous.
Do you think he should shoot with his other hand?
Look at his maybe, but I'm looking more at lower body because when I coach free throw shooting, with anything when it comes to jump shooting, where's your power base come from? It comes from your legs.
Yeah,
come from your legs. Ben Simmons when he's shooting foul shots, looks like he's throwing darts.
Do you remember who called the game?
His legs don't move.
Do you know who called the game?
Monday, was it Kevin Harlan and Reggie? Pretty sure it's Reggie.
So I think it was. So Reggie, I couldn't remember whoever the player was that was. So it was Reggie. So he actually made a great point about Ben Simmons' foul shooting. I don't know if you caught this during it. I believe it was his second hack of it because there was 3 hack-a-bens, I believe, or was there 4?
There was 3, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. So I believe it was the second one. His first shot. We always talk about Klay Thompson has the textbook shooting motion.
Mm-hmm.
His first foul shot, the second time, Reggie Miller goes, "That's picture perfect. That's textbook. Did you see that follow throw? That went straight cotton in the bottom of the net."
Mm-hmm.
The very next one, completely different set of fundamentals, and he bricked it.
And you know what that is? You know what that is? That's fundamentals itself. Because if you're
muscle memory.
Right. It's like my foul shot has not changed since I was in first grade.
It shouldn't.
I shoot exactly the same way. I had the same motion. But my thing is when you're teaching shooting foul shots, you gotta bend the knees. You look at every guy at the line. At some point, they're bending their knees, and also too, you get herky jerky where one doesn't go to the other, where you're bending your knees, coming back up, and then shooting the ball. everything needs to be in fluid. Everything needs to be working together. Everything is in concert. Everything. And Ben Simmons' body at the foul line is not in concert. The reason why it's not is because he's never really took the time to practice shooting. And listen, again, if he improved his foul shooting to a 70-75% clip, he improves his average by 3 or 4 points. So instead of that 14 points a game he's averaging 18 a game.
Let me ask you this. If you were going to go and buy fireworks, okay?
Okay.
Would you buy fireworks that didn't explode?
I would not.
So then why the hell do I want a point guard that won't shoot?
Right. Right. And like right.
Like
yeah, it doesn't make sense. And like again, we recognize all the things that Ben Simmons does really well. And we love those things that he does really well.
It's that deficiency is such
it's such a deficiency.
It can't be ignored.
It can't. We can't ignore it. And Doc Rivers, like, listen, I get it. Like, you're trying to protect your player. I just hope and pray. I hope and pray that behind closed doors, he's in Simmons' ear saying things like, yo, Ben, listen, man, we're going to have to work on this foul shooting. I'm gonna need you to get up and then like he needs somebody. Where's Herb McGee at? Someone get Herb McGee out there. Herb McGee needs to work with Ben in the offseason on foul shooting. We need Herb out there.
We need everything. We need
Herb out there working on the foul shooting because like this is a problem that can be solved, but he needs to work on fundamentals and repetition. That's the only way it's going to improve. Listen, I don't play basketball regularly anymore. I don't because of my life and whatever. I just don't have time. I could go out there right now cold, make 8 out of 10 free throws. No problem. Not an issue at all.
So there was a coach, a college basketball coach. I don't remember who it was, but I remember seeing an ESPN special on him that he was a star player when he was younger. I don't know if he actually played in the NBA, but at least in college he was a star player. And he missed a foul shot or missed 2 foul shots towards the end of the game to like win a championship or to send them to the championship, something like that. And it stuck with him that the coach would go out and shoot 100 foul shots before practice. And there was multiple times where he would hit like 98, 99 of them.
Yeah.
And this guy's just coming into the gym. You know, he was an older guy. I'd say, 50s, maybe 60s, and just cold off the street, 97, 98, 99%. Because it's muscle memory, and once you got it down, it's one after the other, after the other, after the other. It should be the same motion every time. If you've seen the videos where they line up different clips so you can see different things.
Yeah.
You should look at it and it should look like you're watching the same clip every single time.
Exactly. Like you look at I'll bring up a guy like when we were kids, what we used to do, we used to emulate the foul shooting motion of our favorite players. Because it was every time it was the same thing. Like I could do Charles Barkley with 3 dribbles, bend the knees, 3 more dribbles, shot. Jordan, flipping the basketball, 1, 2, 3, knees, pump up. I could do that in my sleep. It's like when your favorite baseball player's batting stance. It's the same thing. You can emulate that because they did the same thing every time. It is always going to be a problem when you're switching up the motion, switching up the stances. The only guy I've ever seen switch up his stance like every other day and be successful was Jeff Bagwell. Jeff Bagwell had a different stance every season. You never knew. Sit down. He would go over the head. Bags was all over the place. But that's not.
He was a different cat, though.
Yeah, and that's the exception to the rule. But reasonably speaking, Barry Bonds, we had the waggle. Ryan Howard, you had the point. Utley, you had to go up the point to the back. Everyone, we know all their stances. Foul shooting. We know.
Griffey had the had the bat up there.
Yeah, the butt waggle with the arms. Yeah. And we can talk about
you had Big Poppy up there with just the bat.
Yeah.
Like now that one of my personal favorites. I know we're getting a little off topic here, but one of my I could pick up a bat right now and do it. Manny Ramirez. It's the same thing. The hard pull back to the right, and it just sits there and sits there and sits there. And then right before he swings, he just stops.
Yep.
And just whips around.
Yep. But like that's the cool thing about sports is that we can talk about this stuff. I know exactly what we're talking about. Like we know all of these things because these fundamentals, these guys, they have to. Everyone has a little idiosyncrasies.
It's not supposed to change, and that's why.
Everyone has a little idiosyncrasies in the way they get to that point, but everyone gets the same point, has to do the same things. And Ben Simmons, I look at him shooting foul shots. I'm like, this is all wrong. Somebody needs to deconstruct this and make something better. But what do I know? I guess I don't know basketball.
He's a treasure. Yeah,
he's a treasure. We need to appreciate him more. Which all I do is appreciate Ben Simmons.
So, but what we're going to do? Let's hit a quick break real quick.
Yeah, and we'll go around the league.
Come back. We'll go around the NBA. Talk about the other series. Series wrapped up yesterday. Can't wait for Saturday for that. That's going to be a matchup.
Yep.
So we'll get to that. We also got some tennis to get into, and I know for some reason we're going to talk some baseball.
Yeah. Bradman in the morning. Marcus Brown, Justin Emery. We'll be right back.
Looking for authentic Mexican food close to home? Great news. District Taco has opened its newest location in Abington, Pennsylvania, and they'd love to fiesta with you. Offering Yucatecan fish tacos, burrito mojados smothered in delicious salsa, and crispy sweet churros, District Taco has it all. Try out the newest location or check out their website, districttaco.com, and come back for more. District Taco. Always fresh, always Mexican.
Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys today about my friends at Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream. USA Today selected Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream as the best ice cream parlor in Pennsylvania. Uncle Mike's is a family-owned and dedicated to the production of premium quality and gourmet ice cream and sorbet, made fresh daily on the premises using the highest quality ingredients available. Uncle Mike's features over 30 unique delicious flavors offered in scoops, sundaes, shakes, and special order ice cream cakes and pies. Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream is located at 537 York Road in Warminster and is open all year round. Visit Uncle Mike's and let their friendly staff serve you happiness one scoop at a time. Bradman in the morning, Marcus Bradham, Justin Emery. So let's go around the league because this has been a fun first round, man. I'm gonna start
wild
with game 5.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Would it be wild if I had you start introducing me as Steve? Like when we come back from breaks, just be like, "Hey, yeah, Marcus Bradham, and I'm with Steve." That'd be a little wild.
That would be a little wild.
Well, okay.
I've confused people a little bit.
All right. Just wondering. I didn't know if that was too far out there or not.
That's very out there.
Gotcha.
If I was like, "Hey, it's Bradman in the morning. I'm Jim. He's Steve," people be really confused.
Guys, fair enough. I didn't know where we were sitting with that. So,
yeah.
Now, talking around the league, I saw you were getting a little wild on Twitter last night.
Bro, I
saw you popped up on the timeline. I was like, Marcus is in rare form right now.
Yo, I may have woke Amber up maybe 6 times screaming at the television over.
I can imagine that.
It's a Blazers game. Like
judging by your tweets, it must have been lit in your house last night.
It was lit. Dame Lillard going double nickel on us. Just the shot making ability of Dame Lillard is second to none. Like his ability and to do it at crucial times. Like literally, he threw up a 3 at one point. I started belly laughing hysterically because I'm like, I don't even know how that even happened. How they even went.
Well, do you remember? I mean, of course, like the when Russ was in OKC, that final exchange during that one game where Dame stops him, hitting 3, goes down and hits like the far one.
Yeah.
So after that game yesterday, that video was viral on the timelines.
Yeah.
And I understand the Nuggets won, but like it felt like the Trailblazers won that game.
Yeah, I mean it was, and I still, even though they're down 3-2, I still favor the Trailblazers because of like TJ McCollum had a rough game. You're not going to have that. They need support from the Anthony Simons, the Carmelo Anthonys. Nurkic fouls out with like 5 minutes to go in the game. So I think the Trailblazers are a better team without Jamal Murray for the Nuggets. So I like them to go back to Portland and win Game 6. And I like them to win Game 7 also because you have one of the best closers to ever do it. And I think that you're going to get better support from the supporting cast. And I trust the Nuggets supporting. I'm sorry, I trust the Blazers supporting cast over the Nuggets supporting cast. I don't think the Nuggets have as Michael Porter Jr. to me still is not ready. He's going to be really good, but I don't think he's ready yet.
I don't think he's ready yet either.
You can't trust Aaron Gordon. I know they got a good game out of Jamal Murray's placement. Milton. He played pretty well. However, what are you going to get at him consistently? So I trust Trailblazers supporting cast way more than Nuggets supporting cast.
Think that series goes 7?
It definitely has to now. If I have Trailblazers winning, it goes 7. So yeah,
but I'm not sure the Trailblazers are going to win though.
I think they get both. I think they do. So here's the deal. Usually after a game, the winner of Game 5 wins 83% of series. I think the Trailblazers will fall in that 17%. I like them. I like them a lot.
I don't know if there was a series that I cared less about going into this series or going into this postseason than
the Nuggets Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Oh man, they're a low key rivalry at this point.
I mean, they might very well be a low key rivalry, but they can stay low key out there.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun watching that series. So I'm gonna keep it West. The Lakers take a beating last night.
Did you see what the Lakers media account did?
No, I didn't.
At the start of the fourth quarter, they posted a screenshot of the score and was like 12 left to go. Let's get this. And I was like, why?
Yeah, why? LeBron at that point had already put a towel around the shoulders like I'm out. Yeah, you talk about supporting cast letting you down. I mean, LeBron looks like he's playing with the 2018 Cavs at this point. That's supporting cast, which I thought was one of the worst. But if you look at the Lakers, here's where I see it. I think they made some gross miscalculations of guys let go going into this year.
I agree 100%.
So you let go of Rondo, Danny Green leaves, Dwight Howard, who thought he was part of the team up until 5 minutes before he signed with Sixers. You bring in, Montrezl Harrell, you bring in Dennis Schroeder, Pau Gasol, guys who
Marc Gasol.
I'm sorry, Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol, you bring in these guys that, they've played well, but Dennis Schroeder has never been in the trenches like that. Montrezl Harrell has never been in the trenches like that. There may be better players than the guys you got rid of, but the guys you got rid of are primetime guys.
Yeah, they're battle tested.
Done it before.
Yeah, they're battle tested. To use a Stephen A. Smith term, they're rough rock.
Right. And that's 1,000%. So now
I know. Hold real quick. I know that we're talking about the rest of the league, but did you hear what Stephen A. said about Ben Simmons?
No, I didn't.
He said, I believe this was on First Take's the show he's on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he said this on First Take yesterday. Yeah, because he couldn't have said it today because I didn't see it today. So he had to have said it yesterday. He said that he thought the Sixers were going to win the championship until he saw Ben Simmons, the Hack-a-Ben, and now he thinks that the Simmons is going to cost the Sixers the championship this year.
I mean, listen. What have I said about the Ben Simmons thing? I'm not going to overrule him yet. It's a wait and see.
From someone who has notoriously killed the Sixers for the process in Stephen A., it was quite an eye-opening statement for him to make that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with it right now. After that makes me nervous too. What I saw Monday night. However, again, it's a wait and see. Let's see what happens. But yeah, anyway, so with the Lakers, you had a lot of pieces you guys replaced that were guys that really helped. Like Rajon Rondo was an intricate part of them winning that championship in the bubble. Dwight Howard played really well for them in the bubble. Danny Green played well in the bubble. All of these guys helped you get there, and you dismissed all of them for guys that have not been in a situation like this before. So now Anthony Davis gets hurt again. Oh, by the way, speaking of belly laughs, did you happen to hear Charles Barkley on Anthony Davis?
I'm sure I did because I watched it, but like I don't know.
Oh my goodness!
I'm not sure what you specifically.
We've talked about this on the show before. I said last year at the bubble, I said if you want to play a shot game, every time Anthony Davis calls to grab something, take a shot, you'll be drunk by halftime. So Charles Barkley's talking about the Lakers. He's like, listen, he's like, I'm not even talking about winning a championship. Just to win this series, they're not going to win the series without street clothes. And Draymond Green just puts his head down, starts laughing, and you hear the production start laughing. And Ernie Johnson goes, street clothes? He goes, yeah, Anthony Street Clothes Davis. Every time you see him, he's in street clothes. Bro, if I almost fell off my bed. I was laughing so hard. I was like, that's savage, but so true. Street clothes. Street Clothes Davis.
That
Chuck. Yeah, Draymond was so uncomfortable, but like the laughter just like slipped out. Because like, what do you say if someone's the next thing to call him? And Charles said it with a straight face. He didn't break character. He said,
whoa. Breaking news on the NBA.
Okay. Is Danny Ainge news?
Yes.
It's official?
Brad Stevens is going to assume his role.
Yeah, this has been the whispers this morning that Ainge was going to step down. And Bradley Stevens was going to step up. This is a tough offseason for him to step up in because like they've got a lot of questions to answer. About what the direction of this team. Like, are you going to keep both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum? Does that make sense? What's the future of a guy like Kemba Walker on the squad?
Hold on. I got some audio for you.
Okay.
Davis, I told you the Lakers can't win this series. Forget about the championship. They can't win this series without street clothes.
I'm not even. You want to explain that?
He's so uncomfortable.
The street clothes Davis, because he's always in street clothes.
You ain't got to explain it, Chuck.
Savage.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong, and he said it with an absolute straight face. And it's true. It is.
And the thing is, he means every word he said.
Yes, and I said what I said. It is the truth. Like he is, generally speaking, in street clothes. But yeah, that supporting cast that you're asking to step up, they've never been in a situation like this before. Now, listen, I'll admit and say I was wrong. I thought we were going to see a LeBron takeover last night of epic proportions. He did what he normally does in the first quarter, where he tries to get everybody involved, but they were missing shots. Then when he tried to get himself involved, he was missing shots. So now you're down 30 at halftime. Welcome to the NBA playoffs. You know, like that's how it goes.
Well for you, man.
Yeah. So it was a rough go. So now what do you think about this? Because now they're down 3-2. 83% of teams up 3-2 win the series. Do the Suns pull this off and knock out King James in the first time in his playoff career in the first round?
I do. Because I don't think the Lakers have the firepower. Not without AD.
And LeBron right now doesn't look like LeBron.
He looks like he's 36 years old and has spent half his time playing professional sports.
Yes.
Was it great? I think it was Grant Hill was on the call last night for the game.
Kevin Harlan and Grant Hill. Yep.
So I'm sure you are know the quote that I'm about to refer to that Grant Hill said.
I may not. I was flipping. I was on Trailblazers Nuggets a lot.
So I think it's about halfway through the third quarter.
Okay.
Give or take. And LeBron misses a shot, and he didn't. He went 0 for 0 on the foul line. Yesterday, no attempts.
Yeah.
Grant Hill said on the telecast, "We are watching Father Time tap LeBron on the shoulder right now." But he just said it right on the telecast.
Wow, he said that?
He said, "We're watching Father Time tap LeBron on the shoulder right now." Let me see if I can dig up the audio.
That's the thing about when, especially in basketball, It happens overnight. And I don't know if the ankle's still bothering him, but it has to be noted how much basketball LeBron James has played. He's played half his life.
I believe when Kobe retired, he had the most minutes played.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron has got to be getting close to that.
And also, too,
because Kobe missed
postseasons.
Postseasons, Olympics. Kobe missed whole chunks of seasons for injury. Right. This was the first time that happened to LeBron.
Yeah, and you watched him last night. He was taking a lot of jump shots. I heard the stat. So, you're a percentage shooter guy. Mm-hmm.
40% of LeBron's shots were 3-pointers this year. Why would you take 40% of your shots as a 3-point shooter when you're an under 40% 3-point shooter?
It's harder to get to the rim. I mean, and he gave us that moment in, I think it was game 4 with that crazy alley-oop dunk. He'll still have moments like that. But, the idea of LeBron James we've known through the 2010s, that idea may be dead as of yesterday.
I don't think maybe. I think it is.
We'll see. But that idea may be dead as of yesterday.
It is.
So Phoenix looks like they will advance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend too much time on Utah, Memphis. Like that
Utah's going to win this game.
Utah's going to win this game, win the series, put them away. So that's going to be done.
Next, Brooklyn handled business last night. We know that was going to happen. So
yeah,
second round.
Don't have anything. They had to scratch and claw to beat that team when Jason Tatum gave you a 50-piece. And he still had to scratch and claw.
So it lines up Milwaukee, Brooklyn in the second round, as we all.
Which is going to be a series.
Yeah, that's a heavyweight matchup.
Yeah, that's must see TV definitely.
And then we already talked about the Sixers. So there's one more NBA series to talk about real quick.
Hawks Knicks.
What's that?
Hawks Knicks.
Yes, sir. And I actually think Atlanta's going to win tonight.
Wait, 1 second, real quick. Jimmy Butler. Let's stop and pause a second for Jimmy Butler real quick.
Hold on. I just got breaking news.
More breaking news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler wants everybody to know he's in the gym right now.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, he might need to be in the gym after that series.
He's the hardest worker in the NBA. Nobody works harder than Jimmy.
Well, here's what I want to bring up to you real quick. So Jimmy Butler, this is his stats in the sweep. Game 1, 17 points on 4-22 shooting. Game 2,
what is it, 17 you said?
17 on 4-22 shooting. Game 2, 10 points on 4-10 shooting. Game 3, 19 on 7-17. And Game 4, 12 points on 4-15. Now, put that in a box with the fact that the Sixers accidentally, because I'm not pretending I did this on purpose, but they accidentally made the right move by keeping Toby and letting go Jimmy. Think about that. They accidentally made the right move. Like, thinking about how bad we were killing them for letting Jimmy walk last year and giving Toby that contract. But look at it now. Look how much, because Jimmy, the real issue was Jimmy.
Did Doc fix that?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's a happy accident. Jimmy and Ben
sometimes better be lucky than good.
Exactly. Jimmy and Ben would never work because Jimmy has to have the ball in his hands and Ben has to have the ball in his hands. And they're both not great shooters. So that would never have worked. Tobias Harris, last year he needed to be fixed after Brett Brown because Brett Brown wasn't utilizing the right way. Brett Brown had him in the wrong position. All of it was bad. So Doc comes in and now makes Elton Brand look like a genius because him keeping Tobias Harris, this is now set up more for the future. Tobias is younger, number one. Tobias, the way he plays basketball fits this team a lot more than when Jimmy Butler plays basketball. Love Jimmy Butler's attitude and all that, but the way Jimmy Butler plays basketball doesn't work with Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
So one of those guys had to go. And if you're gonna ask me, I choose Ben because Ben's younger, and everything that Ben does really well, he does it 50 times better than Jimmy Butler. So this all kind of worked out by accident. It didn't look like it was going to work out a year and a half ago, but it did. It worked out in our favor. I thought this was interesting because now Jimmy's another guy I'm looking at my eyebrow up of what's going on with you because he looked. Now listen, the idea of the bubble. This is why I'm not ready to say LeBron's done yet because these guys like the Lakers and the Lakers and the Heat literally got done playing basketball on a Thursday, and Monday the season started. And they were like, "Wait, what? Where are we going?" So those guys did not have proper rest. And that's why LeBron, I think, probably got hurt because his body wasn't rested. And when you're making up for one thing, the other, it lingers, and this is what you get. So,
sure.
Who knows what goes? But it's just interesting for a note right here where we sit right here is that we're actually in a better position today getting rid of Jimmy Butler than we were with him, which is interesting. But anyway, Hawks-Knicks.
Hawks going to wrap it up tonight, I think. Even in the game that they lost, the Hawks, the Knicks looked like crap all season. Or all series, I should say. They looked like crap all series. This should have been a sweep.
Here's the problem with the Knicks. The Knicks don't have the scoring. They're as good of a defensive team they are, they can't score.
Yeah.
They have a hard time scoring. And your best player, you're not getting great production out of your best player on your team. Your second best player, RJ Barrett, you're not getting much from him either. If it wasn't for Derrick Rose, this probably would have been a sweep.
Yeah.
He's really been the reason kind of holding them together. But Trae Young and them ball screens, man, he's been doing whatever he wants. He makes the game look so easy at times, the way he maneuvers around and gets to his spots. Then you have the shooters. You have Bogdanovich, you got Gallinari, you got shooters. You got shooters everywhere. So Collins also. So there's and actually, it's been cool to see Atlanta. The crowd has been pretty good out there. Atlanta just doesn't have great crowds.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
The crowd's been pretty good.
Like I said, I think Atlanta wins tonight. I like them. They're actually plus money on the money line, so I'll probably put a little something on that. But it doesn't matter who wins the series. The Sixers are going to take them in the second round anyway. Yeah.
So you're looking forward to this series. We'll talk about this more. It's probably going to be Hawks. The Sixers are a great matchup for the Hawks. The Hawks don't match up well with the Sixers.
No.
Because the problem with the Knicks is the Knicks don't have superior athletic wing play, which you need to play against ball screen dominant teams. And the Sixers have super athletic wings, super long wings that can match up on these ball screens. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to need – so even though Embiid's not a great pick and roll guy on defense, it's okay. That's what killed them in the bubble last year against Boston is because Ben Simmons is going through those screens. He's fighting through those screens to get around those screens where – Alec Burke and Chick Milton, and they're not doing that. So you're exposing your big man who can't get up for these wide open jump shots. That's not going to happen with the Sixers, right? No. The way they're set up. So the Hawks are not.
Plus, let's just
Sixers.
Plus, let's just call it the Sixers are a better team than the Hawks.
Yes, I'm sorry. The Sixers match up great with the Hawks. Yeah, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
So we'll get more into that and dissect that more. On Friday's show, I'm sure. Getting ready for game 1 at the Fargo. That's it, right, NBA? That's it?
That's it.
All right, so let's take a break.
Hold on. No, not yet.
Okay. What's up?
We need this. I had to get the song in before we wrap up talking about basketball.
Clap your hands, everybody, for Philadelphia. One of the greatest theme songs ever.
It's got to be up there. If it's not number 1, it's definitely up there.
Here you go. Clap your hands or Fly Eagles Fly. Which one's better?
What was that?
Which one's better? Clap your hands or Fly Eagles Fly?
Ooh. So as a chant, like nobody's singing this whole song. You know what I mean? Like at Sixers games, no one's going to sing this whole song. But at an Eagles game, you will sing the whole thing. So I think as far as like an in-stadium song, in-stadium thing, Fly Eagles Fly. But as far as in its entirety, it's got to be this.
Yeah, this slaps. It slaps. That vintage 70s sound, love it. Love it. Well, listen, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I want to get into the Naomi Osaka situation because I think this has big-time consequences and repercussions for the rest of sports and media that we need to really discuss and break down and get into.
And I need you to tell me which side of the fence I should be on because I've switched sides on my opinion on this before.
Okay.
So
all right.
I need to figure out where I should really sit on this.
Okay. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Marques, Bradham, Justin Emery, we'll be right back.
Justin Emery here to tell you about Beef Jerky Outlet in Langhorne. Sharon and Michael are the owners, and they have the best beef jerky around. You can never go wrong with the maple bacon, but my personal favorite is the honey barbecue turkey jerky. Turkey jerky? Yeah, I said it, turkey jerky. It's getting warmer out, which means grilling season. And what better way to top your meat than with Beef Jerky Outlet's very own sauces? Spicy chipotle, sriracha horseradish, and roasted pineapple habanero are just a few of your options to choose from. Located at 110 Lincoln Highway at the corner of Oxford Valley Road, or shipping nationwide on their website, beefjerkyoutlet.com/Langhorne. Use promo code BREMI for 10% off and say, yo, Justin sent you.
Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys about my friends at Amy's Pizza. Amy has a plethora of pizzas for your munching pleasure, especially pizzas such as Hawaiian, margarita, and taco. Taco actually being my personal favorite. And also plenty more. If it's sandwiches you desire, they've got those too. Cheesesteaks, burgers, hoagies, even gyros. Amy's offers pickup and takeout options. Also, they're available on Grubhub. Amy's located at 332 York Road in the heart of Hatboro. You can call them today at 215-957-1000. Again, that's 215-957-1000.
Every Friday, we're bringing you bits. But it's especially hilarious to me knowing what I've seen happen in McDonald's locations over the years. Hell, what I've done in McDonald's locations over the years.
Hits. Always winterize your pipes. I think that is such a funny...
And everything in between.
Nah, see, it's the opposite. You don't see it, and he was totally about eating that baby.
We are Twitty and the Brand. We're going to ruin something that you love. New episodes weekly on all your favorite podcast streamers.
Yeah, man. Bradham in the morning. Marques Bradham, Justin Emery. So the second-ranked tennis player in the world today, Naomi Osaka, pulled out of the French Open. She pulled out due to mental health concerns over interaction with the media. She originally did a vow of silence and said she wasn't going to talk to the media, and she began to get fined. And then she just decided she was going to pull out. She wrote a statement, which has been a polarizing topic in the world of sports. A lot of people reacted to it positively, some negatively, and it's definitely, to me, something we got to talk about because of what, in my opinion, what this means going forward for sports and for player interaction and media.
For sure.
Let's start with her first.
Okay.
Here's how I feel when it comes to her. I am at a point now in my life where, being 40 years old, I look at mental health way differently than I did when I was 20 years old. Because I think it's like an issue with everything else where you learn more and you understand it more. And I do recognize and understand there are people out there that struggle with mental health, that struggle with anxiety, and all sorts of other issues. That is definitely a thing. And there needs to be a culture that I think is being created where we feel free and open to talk about these things with our friends, with our family, and go seek the help we need. We talk all the time about being physically healthy and eating right and putting the right things in your body. Well, the same goes for your mental. And more often than not, people don't work on their mental as much as they work on their physical. We've had guys like Kevin Love, DeMar DeRozan come out over the past couple of years and talk about their mental health and talk about struggles that they've had. So this is definitely becoming a more prevalent topic and something that people are taking a lot more seriously. There's nothing to joke around with, in my opinion. When someone is telling you they're struggling, you need to listen to them, because you need to check on them. And I applaud Naomi Osaka for just removing herself from the situation, because at the end of the day, if you're telling me that mentally you can't handle this, then you need to go remove yourself and figure out how you can deal with it. And hopefully she's getting the help she needs from family, from friends, and she's being supported the way she needs to be supported. I wanted to say that because I don't want what I'm about to say to intersect with that, because here's the danger to me of where we're going with this. You're going to have isolated incidents where you have people like Naomi Osaka who really may be struggling and really has things going on. But what we need to be careful is people using mental health and these type of issues to not have to deal with and do these things they're obligated to do via contracts. That's where we have to be careful, because now we're opening up Pandora's box, where you can have people come out here and say, well, I don't want to talk to this person because he gives me anxiety, or my mental health. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do a press conference because I feel like I can't deal with that today. You have people that need to do their jobs, and part of any pro sports contract, media is involved in that contract. You're getting those millions and millions of dollars because this is part of your job. Teddy Bruschi said it yesterday, what I thought was a great point on ESPN. He said, listen, I never said the game was over until I was done with the media. That's when the game was over for me, because I knew after I got done playing, this person's going to probably ask me a question, try to trip me up, or this person's going to try to say something, and I had to be prepared. So I didn't take my game hat off until I was done with my media session. I also believe there are people out there, there are athletes out there that will look at this situation and take advantage of this. And we have to also talk about the fact that these athletes now have their own separate brands, right? Like, there is team sports, but in team sports, this is the Michael Jordan effect. The Michael Jordan effect is a created universe where, yes, I play for the Chicago Bulls, but I myself, Michael Jordan, in my own LLC. I have my own brand to protect. I have my own image to protect. I have my own things I have to worry about. I want to get endorsements. I want to get commercials. I want to get sneakers. I want all of this stuff. So if I don't come across the way I need to come across, then that's going to damage my brand. So when I sit down and do media and do these things, I'm not thinking just about answering questions about the team. I'm also thinking about protecting my own brand. So maybe it's not a good idea for me to sit down and talk to this reporter after we lost by 30, or we lost by 5 and I missed a foul shot. Maybe I shouldn't talk to them here. Maybe I should just wait. Or maybe I should just talk through social media, and that'll be my media for the day. Maybe we'll just do a Zoom call, and that'll be my media for the day. All of these things are things we need to be concerned about. Now, flip it over to the other side, because this is so complex, we got to hit it from all angles. The media side of it. The media has become a very dangerous place in our world, not just in sports, in news period. Because now with news has become entertainment. Entertainment and news now are intertwined with it's together. It's one thing. And you have a lot of media members out there that are not just inspiring to report the news, they're inspiring to be the news. Guys like Stephen A. Smith, Wilbon, all of the guys like that who've made careers and become celebrity because of media has changed the aspirations of media. Everyone now in media wants to be that. They want to be a media personality, but they also want to be a celebrity. So they're going to do things and say things and go through hoops they probably wouldn't have done 25, 30 years ago, because the fact that they're trying to be a brand also. They want their own brand. Who wouldn't want to be Stephen A. Smith? Stephen A. Smith, he paid millions of dollars.
$10 million.
Yeah, to do what he does. And this is a guy that came from the papers. He's a paper guy.
Yep.
So he really is the American dream when it comes to media for people who want to be like him. So it's a lot of layers here to this thing. But overall, I'm going to wrap it up and let you jump in here. We got to be careful with this. And Naomi Osaka, God bless her. I hope she gets the help she needs. If this was, I believe she really is struggling. I believe this is an isolated incident with her. However, we got to be careful here because now we're opening up Pandora's box here for any Tom, Dick, Joe, and Harry to use this as an example to not work with and speak with the media.
So I'm glad of everything that you said. I originally my first reaction was I didn't care because I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's completely irrelevant. But the more I thought about it, I realized that it messed how old is she? 23, 24, 20?
I believe she's 21 or 22.
21, 22, okay. How many 12, 13, 14, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 25, 30, 35-year-old women look up to her? She's an ambassador for women's tennis.
Yeah.
Now I preface it by everything you said. I could not agree with you more. I preface it by saying if this is legitimate, then I fully applaud everything that she's doing. I'm worried that this is going to open that Pandora's box you talked about. And the entire sport is going to suffer from it. Whatever that sport, tennis, soccer, hockey, football, pick the sport. Doesn't matter what the sport is. If the players didn't give post-game interviews in the NFL, think the NFL would be where it is right now?
No.
If you didn't get sound bites of talking about practice, you wouldn't have that cult legacy that Iverson was but he really built that cultural icon off of the comments that he was making, off of his personality, off of the court.
Yeah.
Not talking to the media. If he's not, Stephen A. Smith is at ESPN because of Iverson.
Yeah.
Because he covered Iverson. If he didn't have that, he's not, Stephen A. is not Stephen A.
Right.
And Iverson is an Iverson. Now, Iverson would still be Iverson on the court because it didn't have any impact on his play or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But when we sit here and we talk about Iverson as one of the most influential and game-changing players of all time. That doesn't happen without that. So I worry about the Pandora's box you mentioned being open because I think that is already opened.
Yeah.
Because there's this, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just stating a fact right now. There is this impenetrable shield that goes up when you say mental health. You automatically can't be questioned.
Yeah.
And I'm not here saying it's right or wrong. Okay. My point is that there will be people that abuse the system. As with anything.
It's become I got diarrhea, I can't come to work. Nobody's questioning diarrhea. Stay home, get better. That's kind of what's happening here. And that's why it's concerning. Because, while I'm an advocate for mental health and an advocate for people doing right and making sure they're in a right state of mind to do their job, part of this job of making these millions of dollars is media being available to you and you being available to the media if they deem necessary. That's part of your job.
I mean, you are contractually obligated to speak to them.
Now, Naomi Osaka is for her. Listen, she gave up that money. She walked away from that tournament. So she's a tennis player. She's not getting paid.
But you do realize she made $52 million in endorsements last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, now I'm not saying that, like, I don't want it to sound like I'm saying she's lying because I'm not. I don't know.
Right.
But she's in a, like, she's what you said, she's 21. If let's go to 21-year-old Justin, okay? 21-year-old Justin made $53 million last year.
Right.
21-year-old Justin does not feel like talking to the media.
Right.
21-year-old Justin does not feel like dealing with anyone besides whatever I feel like doing.
Right. Yeah.
I have the means to not do that.
Right.
So I'm not doing it.
Well,
now, like I said,
yeah,
she could be, not, I'm not just speaking strictly for myself how I am. Not saying that's what she's doing, not saying that's what anybody else would do, but I know me. If I had the means to if I had, what do they call it? FU money.
Yeah.
If I had that, guaranteed, you know what I would be saying all the time.
Well, isn't that one of the biggest issues that we're experiencing, with the situation, right? Is the players right now, the players have so much control because of the money they're making. Like, if I'm making $60 million, why in the world am I going to let a guy who's making $40,000 belittle me? Why am I sitting there? Why would I let that happen? I'm making $50 million a year and you're making $50,000 a year, but I'm going to let you ask me questions and make me feel uncomfortable. That's the problem where we're getting, is that, like, these players are getting to the point where their individual brands are getting so big and worth so much money. They're looking at their value and saying, wait a minute. And I have to answer you why? Why?
Here's the thing is that, I mean, I don't disagree. I agree with that's where things are. That's where things are trending. I agree with you on that statement. But what it is that okay. Let me give you a hypothetical scenario, okay? Who's an Eagles Zach Berman. I mean, as respected of an Eagles reporter as there is, okay? Mm-hmm. So let's use Zach Berman as an example. Zach Berman puts out a story about, let's say, who's a player, Carson, a player that doesn't really have much credibility here because of things that he's done.
Yeah.
Zach Berman puts out a story bashing Carson. I know it's not his style, but let's just say that's what happens. He's, let's just say, he never showed up to meetings. He was slept through, film studies, didn't like to work out. Last one in, first one. Let's just say, hypothetically, Zach Berman did all that. Carson comes out and says, that's not true, blah, 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 blah. I'm not doing, that's not true. Who's Marcus believing? Is he believing the athlete who's making $100 million? Or is he believing the reporter? Who's Marcus believing?
I believe the reporter usually.
See, so that's where the issue is because despite making 30, 40, 50, 100 times more money than what the reporter is, the reporters are the ones that have the credibility, and at the end of the day, their voice will go the farthest. And that's where it's getting into a dangerous thing. I mean, look at Iverson and Whitlock.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how long has that been simmering down on for?
Years and years and years and years.
Think about, I mean, I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to get in the crosshairs of him, but think about Kwame Brown and Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah. Kwame versus the world.
Yeah. So, it's I understand the players are thinking, I make, like I said, 21-year-old Justin, you would never, ever catch me following the rules. I would have been a combination of Conor McGregor and like young Justin Bieber. Like, you would never catch me doing anything I was supposed to be doing.
Right.
Now, though, I would tear someone apart. If, like, say I'm a teammate of mine doesn't want to go talk to the media.
Right.
That like now, like I'm coming to you in the locker room and I'm saying something to you because you're gonna go.
And listen, like now where we're at in 2021, it comes like if this story would have came out in 1998, she would have got ripped apart for this.
Yes,
They would have obliterated her to shreds. This never would have been. But like the combination of us learning more about mental health and the combination of these athletes becoming their own entity and their own LLCs and like legit like having their own major brands, we have to look at things differently than we did then. And again, you know, this is a dangerous time for sports and media for all of the reasons we just talked about.
This should definitely stay under a microscope.
Yes, and I was about to get to is that this is a story that everyone needs. If you're involved in media, if you follow sports, this is a story you need to pay attention to because this is not over, and this is just the beginning.
So right now, in the middle, so for first time, long time, for June, we're doing Educators Month. So we're having deans from a bunch of different journalism schools on the show.
Nice.
This week we had Penn State on. Next week we'll have Northwestern that got ranked the #1 school in the country. Michael Wilbon, J.A. Adonde, you know, Mike Greenberg, you know, all Northwestern guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have him on, and then following that we'll have famed Syracuse University's dean, as well as UNC. This is so the main. We talked to them about all sorts of things, but one of the driving points that that I've been trying to get out of them is, you know, in 2021, I can take my iPhone, you know, my phone right here, take my iPhone, I can make a podcast, I can make a web, a video, I can type up a whole article. I can use this to be a multimedia journalist, for lack of a better term.
Right.
So why should I pass this up and go to college? That's a big question we've been asking them.
Yeah.
This is another thing that needs to get put on that I need to, because when you're talking deans at the top, like, you're talking scholars at the highest level of their field. I definitely want to get their opinion on it.
Yeah.
I'd much rather hear what they have to say than Howard Eskin.
Right.
So this is something that definitely has to get.
No doubt. I mean, and they're really perfect.
Stay under the microscope for people.
Yeah, and they're the perfect people to ask about this. And yeah, this is something that this is a story for me that I'll be paying attention to. You know, because I think this is just the beginning of something way bigger and potentially a major fight between athletes and media.
Like this is the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
Not like those wild GameStop times back in February.
Yeah.
Those were wild. That like 3-day span where we thought we were financial investors.
Seriously. So let's take a quick break.
No break. We're go right into it.
We're gonna get right to them. All right. Well, you introduce this topic?
All right. So back in what was it? March, April, whenever the season started. They came out of the gate hot.
Yeah.
We were pounding the table for Red October.
Yes.
Red October this, Red October that,
all of it.
Now I am fully aware that they won 17-3 yesterday. I get that. Doesn't mean I care. It just means that I know.
Right.
It is June 2nd. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can we bury them? RIP to the 2021 Phillies season, or not quite yet? That's why I hit it with the question marks because I wanted to leave it open ended.
I'm not here.
How I feel.
I'm not here to bury them. I'm here to voice my frustrations right now.
Okay.
I am very, very frustrated about the way it's going. And I
will also have a few questions in regards to this team after you're done because I'm so far out that like I've written off the entire baseball season already. I'm out.
Here's my thing with the Phillies. I didn't need them to make the playoffs this year. I did not like making the playoffs for them this year was not my ultimate barometer of whether it's success or not. That wasn't my barometer. I would have liked them to make the playoffs. But that wasn't my ultimate barometer for them being set for the season. What I wanted them to be playing is competitive baseball in September, and I wanted this to be a fun season. And the way we started off, it seemed like we were getting back to the Phillies being fun again. It's been a very long time since the Phillies were fun. And I actually wanted to pay attention, and I wanted to care. And I thought we were getting back to that point where we were in the ballpark of them being fun again. There's going to, we had the pandemic last year. You couldn't get down the park. Things are opening up. They're going to have max capacity at Wells Fargo tonight. The Phillies also will have max capacity at their next homestand.
No, they won't. No, they won't. They'll have the ability to have.
Oh, right. Yeah, they'll have the ability.
They won't have max capacity, though.
They can have max. They now can have max capacity if they want to have max capacity. But you're right. They won't have that. I get it. So I was looking forward to taking the kids down, introducing them, getting Amber down there because she's not a huge baseball fan, but she's kind of come around. I'm kind of telling her about how great things were during the Red October days and how much fun it was going on.
Summer nights at the ballpark.
Yeah.
It's just like you don't want to pay for the slop on the field.
Right. So that's where I'm at, is that I was looking forward to doing
Ashford Alley's cool, but it's not that cool.
Yeah, I was looking forward to doing all those things, but I'm not going down there to look at this. I don't want to look at this because, number one, the offense has been terrible. The defense has been I turned on the Phillies for 2 minutes the other day. In that 2-minute span, I watched a man miss a cutoff man, throw the ball over the catcher's head to throw the ball out back to the outfield. I watched all of that in 2 minutes. If I want to go see that, I'll go sit down at a little league somewhere at a stadium out here in the mountains.
I'll watch the ball get thrown around the yard. I'll go watch the kids at the dirt field just play pickup baseball.
Exactly. But I don't need to see that in the MLB. It's not something I
want to.
Right. So
if I'm watching and it's why does everything come back to Ben Simmons?
It always does.
It always does. Somehow it's what did they say? Like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever it is.
Yep. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Yep.
It's the 6 degrees of Ben Simmons, really. But if I'm gonna watch,
by the way,
what's that?
Wait, too. I know someone that used to clean for him, and I also know someone that lives 5 minutes from his house.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I saw him at Howl at the Moon one time downtown.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It was during his rookie year though, and I just looked at him and I was like, how'd you get in here? And I was like, I was like, dude, what are you, 19, 20?
Yeah.
And the thing is, he actually came so I was in the bathroom. He actually came up to the urinal next to me.
This is Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, rookie year.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things where I'm just like, all right then.
Right.
Ben Simmons.
Right.
I mean, if I'm going to watch athletics at the highest level, I expect your fundamentals to be on point.
Yes.
And errors every night. Like there's 27, 24 if you're at home and you're winning. There's 27 outs in a game.
Yep.
The Phillies routinely give the other team 29 to 32 outs.
Yes.
And you're not going to win like that. Not when you don't have elite pitching. Nola, good pitcher. Wheeler, good pitcher. Are they top echelon elite? No. They're good pitchers.
Yeah.
Your bullpen, not good. So, I mean, they're playing okay, but when you give extra teams outs, that's you're going to lose. You're going to lose games. Bohm, did he forget how to play baseball?
Yeah, I mean,
listen,
I don't want to say it. I just hope this isn't Scott Kingery Part 2.
No, I don't think it is. But do you consider sending him down? You have.
The thing is, at this point now, he's not hitting at all.
He's not fielding. He's not hitting. If you go around the diamond, okay, you have JT as your catcher. He's a little nicked up right now, but JT's the best catcher in baseball.
Yeah,
not gonna dispute that. You go to Rhys Hoskins at first.
Mm-hmm.
He's an above average hitter. Rhys Hoskins is a designated hitter. That's what he is. Rhys Hoskins cannot play in the field. He is not a first baseman fielder, and he can't field any other positions. Rhys Hoskins is a DH. At second base, Segura.
Better days.
What's that?
Seen better days.
I mean, he's like you. That was supposed to be Scott Kingery.
Yes.
Okay. Shortstop, you got Didi right now. Though I think he might be hurt, and I think Segura is actually playing short right now. But either way, he's not the answer.
No.
And Bohm is a first baseman. So you have a third baseman who's supposed to be at first base, but he can't field, and you also have a first baseman that can't field either. But you can't take the first baseman out of the lineup because he can hit, and the third baseman, who should be at first base, can hit.
Yeah. Yeah, it basically sums it up. And then Harper,
I mean,
he hasn't looked right since he got hit in the face with a baseball.
No,
but,
I mean, you got hit in the face with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like, so here we sit here on June 2nd in the third season of Bryce Harper's 13-year career. Or I'm sorry, 13-year deal. I don't know. He's been in the league so long, he could be here for 13 years already. Right. Good investment, bad investment, still too early to say.
No, it's a good investment. I'll never, ever knock them for not signing Bryce Harper. Even if it doesn't work out and they don't get a World Series out of it, you had to do it. Where the Phillies were at that point, you had to do it. I more knock them for not putting enough pieces around him to be successful. That's going to be if this doesn't work out.
They don't have the assets to trade to build pieces around him.
Yeah, but the thing is with baseball though is you can buy your way to something.
Well, so there's three ways to build your team in baseball: the free agency market, buying players, as you mentioned, using your young talent to acquire established veterans, or number three, homegrown talent. Now, let's just laugh off number three with the Phillies right now.
Well, that's the problem. Is that's because, and that's why they are where they are. Is because when that whole Red October run with all those guys, they didn't get anything for basically anybody.
Yeah.
Zach Eflin is the best thing you got for that entire team, basically. You got
we know the cupboards are bared in every level of the minor leagues. The cupboards are bare. There's nothing there anywhere in the minor leagues. It's been like that for years and years. They just can't hit on draft picks.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know what it is. They can't hit on draft picks.
Yeah.
Secondly, since you have no assets to move, you can't trade for established guys. And number three, we love it, but we're biased. The Phillies are not a destination team.
Not anymore.
I mean, they got JT. They got Bryce Harper.
Yep.
I don't hear people beating down the door to come play with Bryce. I don't hear people beating down I don't hear pitchers saying, "Hey, I want JT to catch for me." I don't hear that.
Yeah, one of your best pitchers doesn't even like when JT catches for him. Aaron Nola literally would rather have Knapp than JT as catch for you, which is weird. But I mean, it is what it is. And this is Citizens Bank Park has never really been a pitcher's destination. It's just back in when they were really good in that 7-11 run. The reason why you got Holiday, you got Lee, and guys like to come here because you're like, well, listen, I might give up a little more runs, but a good chance I won a championship, and they're going to outscore everybody. So
they're going to rake. They're going to rake.
Right. So this is a pitcher's destination.
So what I hear about JT is that so it goes back to what we just said in the last segment, where today's athletes are different. Everything. Now I don't know JT personally. Obviously, I've never been in the clubhouse. I've never been around the team. From everything I hear, is that JT is a throwback catcher. Like, he will get in the pitchers' faces. Do you think the reason why, players, Nola and who's the other guy? Is it Eflin or is it?
I believe it's Eflin that likes to throw a nap also.
Yeah. Is it because Knapp won't come out there and light them up? I mean, think about the absolute infamous GIF of whoever that guy is running from the bullpen and JT rolling his eyes.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
No, I'm not. I personally like a guy who will light someone up. Like that's like me. That's what I want, especially.
What his job is.
That's what I'm looking for. So I have no problem with it personally. And if I was a pitcher, that's how I want you to come to me. Like, don't come to me and be like, tell me what it is. I mean, like,
right, be honest.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So they're not a destination team, so they're not going to attract the free agents, despite having the money. It doesn't matter.
Right.
So just to put a bow on this real quick before we get out of here, I got 3 questions for you that I'm struggling with for the Phillies.
Okay.
Were we scammed with Joe Girardi as a manager?
We had this conversation about a month to a month and a half ago.
Yep.
Where I said when Joe Girardi was hired, did I believe he was an upgrade over Kapler? I did. However, people out there acting like Joe Girardi's Lou Piniella, I was always confused by that narrative because I've never seen anything from him that made me believe that he was just genius Joe Madden type manager. I never saw that from him. So, I never saw him as Dusty Baker. So I think people's expectations for him coming in was way too high because people were so frustrated about Gabe Kapler and all that stuff was going on with him, even though they're winning out there. But they were frustrated with him and what all the stuff that's happening here. I think they were looking for anybody more traditional. Anybody. It was almost anybody but Gabe. It was very similar to Chip Kelly when he left. It was anybody but Chip, basically. And so it was way too high for him.
So you kind of led me to my second question.
Okay.
They make a mistake letting go of Gabe.
I mean,
the product on the field is not much.
No.
The product on the field is very similar.
Here's the thing.
Could you imagine what would be said if Gabe Kapler was giving the quotes that Joe Girardi is?
Right. And Gabe Kapler gave some wild quotes.
Oh, he was. We beat that dude up for a while.
Yeah, he was saying some pretty strange things. But I will say this is that sometimes when it comes to coaching or managing, you have to leave a place to refine who you are.
Yeah.
And who Gabe Kapler is in San Francisco probably isn't exactly the same Gabe Kapler that we got. And if he would have stayed here, I don't know that he would have made those changes that he's made to whatever success he's having out there. Like what he did to Rhys Hoskins, what he did to Scott Kingery, those things, his bullpen ideals, that can't be forgiven. So that's why he had to go. So no, they did not. Gabe Kapler had to go. That was the right decision. And maybe those things, he looked at a lot of those things and said, you know what? Okay, I need to fix this, that, and the third. I keep this, that, and the third, but I need to fix this over here. And maybe that's why he's the guy he is in San Francisco. But I don't think he would have been that guy if he stayed here in Philly.
It's demoralizing to just think about it.
Yeah.
And then my third and final question for you. What are we going to do with Andrew McCutchen?
I mean,
that's the exact response that I had when I was thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, there are no good answers here. There are no good answers here because Andrew McCutchen is and this we talked about this a little bit with LeBron. Obviously, not the same caliber player, but Andrew McCutchen is a former MVP, and this is what happens with guys where they fall off when it comes to sports. Usually, with great players, there's no grace in the fall. There's no gradual decline. Usually it just goes, you're off the cliff and that's just it. You're done. And we're kind of seeing that with McCutchen now where he's pretty much fallen off that cliff. And there's nothing that we can do because, and maybe the ACL contributed to the speed of the falling off the cliff, but the signing I thought was a good signing when they did it. It made sense. but you can't predict what happens 2 or 3 years after that signing with a guy you signed when he's like 33, 34 years old. You don't know. So now we sit with a guy that has no value. What do you do? You can't send him down to the minors. So like you're stuck in this no man's land where you just gotta ride it out and hope it gets better. I mean, there's really nothing else much you can do. You're not gonna get anything for him in trade.
No, he's no trade value whatsoever.
So you're pretty much just waiting and hoping for the best that he catches lightning for a couple weeks. It looked like he was pulling himself out of it a couple weeks ago, but that was not the case. And
I understand like he hit the 2 home runs yesterday, but I stand by what I said. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, because listen, 17-3 is that's all well and good. But what are you going to do? I always like to watch the next night. What are you going to do tonight? What's going to happen tonight? What's going to happen for the next week? Because if you go out there and score 17 runs yesterday, and then you hit me with a 1-2, 2-4, 2-2.
Would you be surprised if they get shut out tonight?
No, I wouldn't. That would be very on brand for the squad. But listen, let's focus on the positive. Game 5 tonight.
Yes.
Wizards. I believe this will be a hands behind the head, feet up, watching kind of experience. I don't believe this is close. I think the Sixers, with that energy of the Wells Fargo Center, I think they beat this team by 20. And you just hope and pray that Joel Embiid is ready for Saturday. That's what you got to hope for.
Wouldn't it be Sunday?
Saturday or Sunday. Probably Sunday. You're probably right. But you hope he's ready for Sunday, ready to go. All signs are pointing to he's going to be good for the rest of the playoffs. Tonight, probably not. But all signs are pointing that he'll be ready for the second round. And again, I see this by at least 20 tonight.
All right. I think the Sixers win. I think it's much closer than you, though. I don't think they're going to blow them out.
Ooh. I see it beaten.
I don't. I hope they do. I really hope they do. I'm so tired of having Bradley Beal laughing at the Sixers. Like I'm so overseeing.
He had a very weird reaction to getting his brains beat in. Like I know he's gotten hit, but here's the thing: it alarms me because as a guy, like, listen, I don't care if I put up 35 and we're getting beat by 30. I'm not happy.
Right.
I'm still upset. I'm upset and like I'm not happy. And like for the most of this series, the Sixers have been beating your brains in, regardless of what you're doing. They've been beating your brains in.
And he was counting down the fouls that Simmons had last game. Like every time Simmons got a foul, Beal was like 1, 2, 3. He was counting them down.
Right.
He's
right.
And Bradley Beal's odd reaction for getting smoked.
Right. Bradley Beal's a great player, but like this is not it, bro. You're getting trashed on national television on a nightly basis. I think you're getting thumped in tonight because Davies Bertans is big for them because he is their only he's not even consistent. He gets white hot and he's a Sixers killer and shoots and really their only sniper.
4 to 6 weeks, which means his season's done.
Yeah, so I look at the rest of them. Beal's gonna get his, but Westbrook can't hit the broadside of a barn.
No.
Hachimura is streaky at best.
You know what my favorite thing to hear the announcer say is?
What's that?
Westbrook for 3. When they say Westbrook pulls up for 3, I know it's going to be a rebound.
Yeah, and he's missing badly too. Like even like he used to be pretty good at those like 15-foot bank shots. How many times he hit like the side of the backboard in those? Like
he's not, dude. He cannot hit water if he jumped out of a boat, bro.
Yeah, but listen, man. I will say 21 rebounds in an NBA basketball game as a guard is extraordinary.
Whoa. Is he a treasure, though?
I wouldn't say treasure.
Okay.
Ben's a treasure. Doc reminds us that every night.
Ben ain't getting 21 rebounds in a game.
I don't think so. But hey, don't talk about Ben. Doc might be listening. Don't talk about him negatively. We can't do that anymore.
We got to get a song called "Doc is Watching You."
I always feel like Doc is watching me.
No, you know the song that the Buddy's Watching You that the Eagles did for Buddy Ryan?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what we need.
Yeah, Doc's watching.
Doc is watching.
The Watcher. All right, listen. Let's go ahead and get out of here.
Sounds good.
Great show as usual.
Yeah, man. We'll be back on Friday.
Yes.
Hopefully No, I said last time, hopefully we're celebrating the sweep. We will be celebrating the second round.
There will be no game 6.
Better not be.
We're not going back to Washington.
Better not be.
Yeah. So, Brad and Memory Pod everywhere.
Yes.
BradandMemoryShow.com to get that awesome merchandise. Marcus be tweeting everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on the Bluebird app. 10% off at Beef Jerky Outlet with promo code Bremy. And in 3 weeks from today,
man.
3 weeks from today,
yes,
we will be doing a live show. Yes, live show at the Beef Jerky Outlet.
Yes, post some jerky.
Yes, friends of the show, we will have guests there. We will have all sorts of things going on.
I'm going to put this on your radar right now, let you know I'm in the move I'm making. So when I call off the mountain, right, I am calling the night before. I'm placing my order for Curly's cheesesteaks the night before to pick up immediately after the show. Take the mountain with me.
To power move. Will it make it back to the mountain?
It may not make it back to the mountain. I might have to get a couple to make sure we get some back to the mountain. But that's definitely happening to make sure we're ready to go. Maybe we take J. Cole over there with us. Maybe we'll get some kind of discount. You know, J. Cole probably call the owner out.
Here's the thing: is that like, do you know how hard it's going to be to get J. Cole out of the jerky outlet?
It's going to be a difficult feat.
Like,
it's a difficult feat to get him to get off the mic. This might be a 7-hour show.
Better not. It's only scheduled for 2 hours.
Yeah, I need a pack of 10 pajamas.
Yeah, you might have to. I already foresee it though, because I mean, you've been to the store. You see how big of a selection they have.
Yeah. It's
you know the back wall, their back wall of sauces.
Yeah.
We will not get him off of there.
No.
Like, that's why he's driving himself and not getting a ride.
I did an easy $130 there. Easy.
I told you Sharon sent me an email and told me she's got a couple things in stock because I was looking at their website. They got some seasonal things coming in. You know, so I emailed her and I was like, hey, I saw a couple of these things on your website. You know, what do you think? Can you put one aside for me? She's like, they're seasonal. They're not in yet. Got the email yesterday. Shipment's in.
Love it. I told Amber about the buffalo chicken jerky. She said, come home with that or don't come home at all. So,
you might be getting kicked off the mountain if you don't have it.
Yeah, I might not be a big kickback on the mountain. My pass might be revoked. But anyway, we'll be there June 23rd. Come check us out live. Come say hi.
And coming down the pipeline, we also have a live show at Amy's Pizza coming down the pipeline, probably early mid-July, something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So definitely check an eye out for that.
Until next time, you can be with us, you can be against us, but you're never going to stop us. Late.